And that's something that incorporated, well, incorporated education into.
Exactly. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's coming online, and looks like Facebook and YouTube is probably working along with our website at smetsneedles.com. My name is Rhonda Pierce, and I'm in Cleveland for the original Sewing and Quilt Expo. Um, I had a 45-minute flight this morning from Chicago to Cleveland that actually took 3.5 hours. Crazy weather that we're experiencing right now. So, as you come online, say hello and tell us where you're from. And I've got special guests here today. And let me see. Oh, Jana or Jana. Jana, hello. Welcome. Now, Jana, I don't remember where you're from. So go ahead and put your city or state or country, wherever you're from, in the little chat there. I appreciate it. So, as you know, that generally on the first Wednesday of every month, I go live at noon Central Time, which is Chicago time. But because today was a travel day, I am here in Cleveland and I've got some special guests here today. So let me see. Okay, let me see. Oh, good. Okay, people are starting to come online. Pat is here from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. And Pat, I'm actually going to be in Pennsylvania next week at Hoover's Bernina Sewing. They're having an expo, so I'll be there. I think I fly in on Tuesday, and I'm giving SCHMETZ classes each morning on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I don't know how far Bucks County is from, let's see, is that Mifflinburg? Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania. Oh, okay. Jana's from California. We've got Marianne from Georgia here. Okay. Well, we're going to just scoot along because I don't know how much power I'm going to have. And Marianne's here from Georgia. Okay, so last month's winner, let me get my yeah, I'm a little bit discombobulated because I only got here like 30 minutes ago. So last month's winner was Tisha Bradley from Florida. And she answered the question, how will Joann's closing affect you and where will you shop? So she said that she would be greatly affected and that she will be shopping locally for threads and interfacings. Well, 2 weeks ago, I was in the Atlanta area for another original Sewing and Quilt Expo, and I actually stopped by a Joann's just to see what their SCHMETZ display was like. And if you saw my newsletter, you know that it was all wiped out. So lots of things were missing at Joann's. So very, very interesting how things are unrolling. So before we have our first guest here today, how many of you got my SCHMETZ newsletter? So actually, I mentioned that wall of or lack of SCHMETZ needles at the local Joann's. And then I went to a local multi-line dealer, the Atlanta and Augusta Sewing Center. And oh my goodness, Lisa had so many wonderful things to tell me. She took me to this huge wall of SCHMETZ needles. And then she took me into the classroom where she had this beautiful jewel tone quilt that she had made that supervises the classroom. So let me just walk you through the giveaway today, because as you know, we have great sponsors, terrific companies contribute to our giveaway. So Shannon Fabrics, of course, you know I'm a huge Cuddle fan, so I've got a kit of pastel blues and lavenders, kind of soft beach or sea colors. Threads Magazine, the Nimiel Travel Guide. So as you plan your 2025 shop hops, you can check with that book. Amy Berrickman has a pattern there. Mary Malari, of course, has one of her aprons. I've got the magic pens from Taylor Seville. Orifil has thread along with Metler, Scanfil. How many of you know about Scanfil? And I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but it's an eco-friendly thread. And so I'm starting to see them more frequently in our U.S. market. Sally Tomato also contributed cork. So fantastic. So I'm excited. So how do you win today's giveaway? Well, you have to answer a question. And what's the question? The question is, if you are teaching someone new to sew, what's one of the first projects that you work on? If you're teaching a newbie to sew, what kind of pattern or project do you start with? So just curious as to what ideas, because you know what? Sewing, we love to show our love. We love to share our love of sewing and quilting. And yes, that includes with newbies, no matter how old or young they are. Okay, well, let's just scoot along. We're 5 minutes after the hour, and I've got some special guests here today. And Jill, do you want to be our first guest? Come right up over here. Bring your samples. And like I said, we're live at the original Sewing and Quilt Expo in Cleveland. And I've been seeing Jill a few times now at a variety of the shows. And you're going to look right there with that little arrow is. So Jill, tell us a little bit, give us your full name and your website and how do people get in touch with you?
My name's Jill McCloy. I've been teaching for the Expo pretty much since the second show. So I've been doing it for a long time.
Oh my goodness.
So
is that how old is this show?
30 years.
30 years?
30 years.
Oh my goodness.
We got some old gray hair ladies here. Right now, I don't have a website, and I would like to shoot my web person, but I probably shouldn't say that live. But
well,
so give me about a couple weeks, and I'll be on Etsy. It's Jill McCloy Designs.
Okay. So, and how do you spell McCloy?
McCloy.
Okay, Jill McCloy on Etsy soon.
Something cloying, sickening sweet. Everybody remembers that.
Okay, now last 2 weeks ago when we were in Florida and Atlanta, I'm walking through the quilt display and you can see some of the displays on the show floor. We're kind of far away. That's just one exhibit. And I go, look at all those mini quilts, all those mini projects. And guess what? Who did those? Jill.
I did. And my friend Jim Susio made the display beautiful.
Isn't this wonderful? So this probably measures about 10 inches, would you guess, by about?
It's about 5.5.
5.5.
By 12 or 13, I think.
Okay, and what technique did you use on this?
It's mostly bonded applique, which brings me to my favorite needle for that.
Jill is so well groomed.
I do a lot of bonded applique, so it's the super
nonstick, super universal. Yes,
it's kind of we need a shorter name.
We do. SNS is what I say.
SNS, okay, that works for me. And then I love needles, and I love accessory feet. So another thing that I like to do is classes. This is Foot Feet 3, and it uses 3 needles and 5 feet. So it has a wing needle and a 2.0 twin needle on that one. Some of my favorite things. So I think texture is a beautiful thing to put into our projects. And I have quilts that use these techniques too. I use wing needle on a quilt quite often.
Awesome. You know, I suggest even especially when I talk to modern quilt guilds, you know what? Use that hem stitch needle when you're looking for texture and some additional patterns. Don't be afraid to use it. And I think this is such a beautiful example that you've got here.
Well, and many years ago, Jim might remember how many, we did a sashiko class. And so I programmed a wing needle stitch with, I think, 4 or 5 plain stitch, two plain stitches in between. And then we did hand weaving for our sashiko.
Oh, I'd love to see those samples.
We'll do it again.
Awesome. Okay, now Jill, you're teaching here in Cleveland.
Yes.
What, how many classes and what classes are they all lectures or are they
No.
hands-on?
There are 4 or 5 hands-on classes and 3 lectures. So fashion, fit and fabric is one. The no pattern jacket is one. The no pattern skirt. Those are the lectures. And then I'm doing a miniature quilt. I'm doing this little bag and some other classes. I haven't written
Fantastic.
down my schedule yet, so I'll
Yes.
remember.
So Jill, so what's the next show you're going to do?
The next one will be Raleigh.
Raleigh.
We're going
Okay.
back to Raleigh. I'm very excited to go to Raleigh
Yeah.
again. It's a great venue.
So you do all of the original Sewing
I
and
do
Quilt
every single-
Expos. So if you have a chance to visit these shows and take classes, there's so much talent here. And of course, there's great shopping too. And especially as our Joann's closes out, oh, wow, this is a great way to support your independent businesses. So, okay, any closing comments?
Come and see us.
Yeah. So, and as Jill said, her favorite needle is the SCHMETZ Super Non-Stick needle. And you know,
S&S.
yeah, the SNS.
Remember that.
And you know what, Jill? There is another super non-stick needle. It's called the Black Super Fine needle that has that same anti-adhesive
Oh, I
coating.
love that coating.
And it's a size 70 only. So that might be something you'll want to experiment with.
Actually, that sounds like a really good thing for shadow applique class that I'm
Okay.
developing.
Okay.
So good,
Well,
good tip there.
I bet I could provide you with a sample
I
or two.
bet you could. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Jill. Okay, well, we're live. We're live here on the floor, and I've got lipstick on my teeth. Thank you, Jill. So I've got another special guest here, and Jim, come on over. And Jim Suzio, hello.
Hi.
So I didn't realize that you'd been on the circuit for quite a few years too.
With the expo, like the second year.
Scooch up a little bit, and you're going to look right there. Okay. Yeah. Now, Jim, what is your history? So you were active with, was it Sue Hausman and
Actually,
Viking?
Actually, before that,
Before that.
we had a neighbor that was a very active sewer, and her name's Charlene. So if you're out there, Charlene, and she kind of encouraged me to do more sewing, and we would shop at our local Joann's, and I kept going in the store so much they said, "You're here more than 70 employees. You want a job?"
Oh, gosh.
So my career started as a part-time sales clerk with Joann's, and I soon worked up to store manager, then district manager trainee, where I would go around and set up all the stores.
Oh,
And so it's basically started with Joann's. And then when I left to go back to school to further my degree,
uh-huh.
I went to work for a sewing dealer. And after 3 weeks, they threw me up on a stage for the American Sewing Guild convention. And I never spoke in public before. And there was a lady watching, and her name was Sue Hausman.
Imagine that. How many of you recognize the name Sue Hausman? Now, for those who don't know who she is,
she was the vice president of education and consumer motivation for Husqvarna Viking sewing machine companies.
What a dynamo to work with and learn from.
She was, and what got me was whenever she came up to me, she says, "I loved your jacket. Would you make me one?"
Oh.
So I was like, "Oh, I'm going to sew for you," and then it just started. Like it just took off.
Yeah.
So I basically taught all over the U.S., United States, and Canada, and Australia.
And are you still writing articles, or?
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
That,
okay.
and I also teamed up with my friend Amy Bachman, and we do live podcasts every Monday at noon.
Oh, you need to bring me on for SCHMETZ Needles.
I was going to talk to you this weekend. So you're already going to be
okay, good.
So, well, we have a different thing. It's like on Mondays, we Make It Monday. So we talk about different things. We talk about needles, serging, whatever. And it could be anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour, depending on how many people tune in. And it's a lot of question and answer stuff. So we've been doing that. And also we have bi-monthly subscriptions where 1 month we do a scan and cut box subscription where we do live classes and we send you all the materials to make the project. Last month we did a Louis Vuitton knockoff jewelry box that I designed. And everybody got all the pieces and parts and all the cut files to make it. And this past month, we did a surge box.
So can people sign up at any time?
Yeah,
for
anytime
these?
at all. If they would go to
Okay.
the subscription stuff and then the links there, you can go to Amy Sews and also to get onto the for the Make It Monday and other subscriptions.
And
like
how
that.
do you spell Amy's last name?
Baughma.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And she's in, is it New Hampshire?
No, she's in Harmony, Pennsylvania. So not too far.
Oh, I thought.
And
why did I
what
think-
we're going to have you on is monthly, she has a guild meeting for
Uh-huh.
those people that don't have a sewing guild or a club near them that they can join, especially now with Joanne's closing.
Yeah.
A place for you, a mutual admiration society kind of thing, where we can have guests like maybe Jill McCloy on. We just had Linda McGeehee on.
Okay.
And basically, it's like the last Tuesday of the month at 7 Eastern.
Okay.
And you talk about yourself and maybe what you're working on, your history, whatever. And then when you're like for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then it goes to whoever's watching. So we had people from Hawaii and all over the place
Yeah.
showing this is what I made this week. So this
Oh,
way
wonderful.
you
So
could
it's show and tell.
show and tell, and you could say you did a great job, because the way it started would be Amy did something, showed her husband, he goes, yeah, that's nice. And then went and then showed it to her son. He goes, it's okay, Mom.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
and
No,
you
we
know
need
how
more
you-
encouragement than
Yeah, and
that.
that's why it's
More zest.
and there's no stress, there's no clicking. It's nice, and you could show off what you're doing. You could help each other, ask questions,
Yeah.
and it
Well, this
it,
is
it,
fun.
it can last anywhere from a half hour to 4 hours, depending on
Okay.
because you never know who's going to be on, and you can. And it's actually live, so
Interactive.
interactive, so you will see the person that you're talking to. And it can show you the stuff, so it's
Okay.
not like a blank screen you're looking at.
Okay.
You're going to actually see the person.
Fantastic.
So it's really fun.
Oh, I look forward to
So
participating.
we're gonna get you on next.
Well, actually, for your original Sewing and Quilt Expo, what I've been doing in my lectures and my hands-on classes is at the end of my class, I've been showing a quilt that I made many years ago. And I ask, is this quilt done?
When is a quilt ever done? Right?
Exactly. In theory, it's done, but
It's like
you
a
know, it just needs a little bit more pizzazz. So,
painting.
yeah. Okay, now,
And-
Jim.
And then okay, so she had show and tell. I got show and tell. What I did.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Talk
did-
about your
Oh,
exhibit here.
Okay. So
Yes.
at the expo, I had 7, 8 different classes teaching. Stage presentation. And on top of all that, I do a collection of movie star and celebrity knockoff gowns.
Yes, and let me just say they're smashing.
Thank you. And it's just to encourage people to want to come out and sew.
Yeah.
And you'll like one of the gowns there, it retails for $65,000. And I was able to knock it off for 150.
Wow.
So if
wow.
people say it doesn't pay to sew, yeah, it does. If you just look for the right fabric and a little bit of your own ingenuity.
Yeah.
Because even I had a lady today say to me, like, this is an expensive hobby. And I had a lady said it to me in Atlanta, and I went, sweetheart, this ain't no hobby. This ain't no model railroading. This is a luxury skill
Oh,
that everybody wants to be like us.
yes. Oh, well said.
So you have to put it that it is a
Yeah.
luxury skill, because not everybody
I
can,
love that
Yeah.
term. Yeah,
because it kind of
Yeah.
goes up a little level.
exactly.
Because not everybody could do what we can do. Because we have some people that can look at something and copy it, and it's a skill.
Yeah.
And then what's even nicer is when you get people like that then share that with other people, like the instructors here at the Original Sewing Quilt Expo, that we share the love of the knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is a thrill to the sharing.
And then even like I have a hands-on class, and when the person goes, I got it.
Yeah,
It just made your whole class.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, one more question, Jim. What's your favorite SCHMETZ needle?
Size 80 universal.
Universal 8012. Okay, there you
Use it for,
go.
like, everything. My
Fantastic.
favorite one.
It is the workhorse of all needle
Yeah,
types. So
it's perfect.
awesome. Okay, Jim. Well, now do you have a website or?
It's getting tweaked.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, stay tuned. Okay, well,
All
thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we have another special guest here. And Patty, it's you. Step on up. And as Patty is coming on over, let me just remind you to be in the drawing, the random drawing for today's giveaway. You have to answer the question, what is a favorite project that you start with sewing newbies? If you're teaching somebody new to sewing, what kind of project do you like to start off with? So we'll see what kind of, I've seen some answers come in
Good,
already.
good.
Hello, Patty.
Good.
I love your top.
Well, thank
Oh my
you,
gosh,
thank
we're
you.
the Blue
Yes,
Sisters.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, so Patty, tell us your last name and your website.
I'm Patty Otto from Great Copy Pattern.
Yes,
I have
yes.
this wonderful husband who handles all that yucky stuff, those spreadsheets and inventory and all of that. So he goes, don't touch the cash register, just go be creative. So
Awesome.
it is great.
And I
So-
will say, he's very friendly. He's very
He is,
amiable.
he
Yes.
is. And he has an
Oh, there he is.
yes, he has an expo wife.
An expo wife.
Yes, and I
Okay.
just found out he now has an expo mistress.
Oh my.
Yes, because the mistress said she would have more fun. So,
Oh, do I ask who that is?
oh no, it's a secret. It's a secret. So.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, so Patty, tell us a little bit about Great Copy and how you got involved. And I know that you are you work outside of the expo too, don't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Teaching at the expo. One of the things I have been super crazy is it's prom.
Prom. Oh,
Crazy month.
how
Yeah.
many of you are making prom outfits?
Well, this is alterations.
Okay.
Alterations. Mhm.
Oh,
I've had
boy.
3 requests since we left the house this morning at 8:30. So
Oh, boy.
it is, I am going to be busy, but I love teaching. I
Yes.
absolutely love to teach. That is my absolute favorite
Yes.
thing to do.
Do
So
you work with
I
fabrics
love
and fleece? Do you call it
fabrics.
fleece or polar fleece?
I only use Polar Tech.
Polar Tech. Okay.
High-end fabric from Malden Mills. If I'm going to put
Yes.
effort into a garment, I'm going to use good quality fabric,
Right.
which is the same thing with my tops.
Right.
With my knit Galleria, have at Saks and Noises, and the top, a knit top is about. Why is that top so expensive? So what it is, quality fabric.
Yep.
And doesn't fit.
How many of you have issues with fit?
Yes.
I mean,
Mhm.
but yet your program.
The approximate finished garment measurements.
Okay.
themselves. You can compare a tape measure wrapped around
Yeah.
you to see how much iterations.
Okay.
I teach called Fit to the T, and we're
Clever.
going in to get rid of fabric under shoulders. Some
In
of
general,
us,
how
yeah.
much ease through the bust?
I
do you
generally
suggest?
suggest 3 to 4 ease through the
Okay.
okay. But if you you may need a full bust adjustment.
Yes.
And I can
Okay. So Patty,
brick.
be seen on us too. I'm just thrilled that this long too. Oh boy. Cut this a little short, but so how long have you been part of Sewing Quilt Expo?
We have been doing those for 21 years. worked with the designer
Oh,
since
oh,
we have been around. We have been around
awesome.
Stretch and Sew stores.
Okay. So, no, oh, you do? Did you see
Yes.
a picture in there?
Yes, yes, I did.
So
Mhm.
my April letter went out on Friday, which was actually March, but and I made this nice little collage with Patty from I'm not or Lakeland, and it's always very photogenic. When you're sewing with your Polar Tech,
Polar Tech.
Polar
yes.
Tech, what needle do you use?
A lot of time. Sweatshirt. Universal needle may work well for you,
Mhm.
but what fabric that has needle?
Yes.
And I have that I show my students in class to compare about it is for love about is pretty much the same universal, but the bunter.
Yes,
And what that does is you want that needle to go first,
that's right.
go in between head, allowed to complete the stitch. The stitch. The cover stitch. Love me. That's so important for hemming knits. You want the narrow 2.5 for lightweight fabrics. You want the 4.0
Yep.
for your mid to heavyweight fabrics.
Very good.
I strongly recommend those.
So the stretch needle actually has a medium ballpoint. And when you compare it to the jersey needle, the stretch needle has a deeper scarf
Yes.
than a regular a universal or a
Right.
jersey
It
needle. And that
protects that
really makes a
thread
difference.
as it goes in and out of the
Yeah.
in and out of the fibers. And there's also a medium ballpoint for your serger. So if you are having skip stitches with your serger, every once in a while there'll be a finicky fabric out there. And what I tell my students is you want that needle for your machine, and you're going to look at the numbers. Like you said, most of them have CF right now,
Yes.
which is chrome
Chrome
finish,
finish.
but it will say SUK.
Correct.
And that is so your stitches don't suck.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
That's what I tell my students. So that's how they remember them.
Well, SUK is a translation from a German.
That's
yeah.
what I think.
Yeah. That was made many, many decades ago before it had a
Right.
different
Mhm.
meaning.
Yes, but that, yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well,
Mhm.
Patty, I want to say thank you so
Oh, you're
much for
welcome.
being
Thanks for
here
inviting
today.
me.
Yes, I'm delighted. I have gifts for everyone that's showing up here today, but
Ooh.
because I just arrived in the nick of time to be here today, it's all over at my hotel.
Well, it's
so
not
I'll
like
bring
we
it
won't
tomorrow.
see you.
Yes.
Mhm. So,
Okay, Patty. Well, thank you so
very
much. All right, you bet.
Always great to see
You too. Okay, Teresa. Okay, so if you want to win that giveaway that I mentioned earlier, and here's a picture of it, you need to answer the question,
Ooh.
what project do you start with sewing newbies? If you're teaching someone to sew, what kind of project do you like them to start with? So answer that question, and Paul in the Chicago office will be selecting a winner. And it just so happens, I know that Jill is actually going. I should have mentioned. I'll have you come back. Okay. All right. So hello, Teresa. Oh my gosh.
So good to see you.
Teresa, are you on a whirlwind?
Oh my gosh.
Can you
It's
breathe?
insane. Not really, not yet. No.
I love your hair.
Thank
I love
you.
your short hair.
Yeah, thank you. It's really nice to have
I
short
think
hair again.
we're
little
sisters with
twinsing. Yeah.
our glasses. Okay, so this is Teresa Coates, and of course we think what an appropriate
It really
last
is
name.
appropriate.
Yes, and you know, people, funny because my last name is Pierce. My married name is Pierce, and sometimes in my classes people go, "Oh, Pierce needles,"
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they get a giggle from that.
Yeah, and mine was like, Coates, is that really your name? Like, it really is. Yes.
Okay, so Teresa, give your full name, spell your last name, and tell people how to find you.
So my name is Teresa Coates. Coates actually has an E in it, Coates. So that's how you know it's actually my name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can crinkledreams.com is the easiest way to find it. And on any sort of social media is Teresa Coates or Crinkle Dreams. Yeah.
Crinkle Dreams.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Now, we've known each other for many years.
Yes.
You used to work with a favorite fabric of mine,
Yes,
and it
yes.
still is a favorite
It's still one
fabric,
of my favorites.
cuddle fabric, the
Yes.
cuddle queen here.
Yeah.
But your career has kind of taken a little shift and so
Yeah.
many exciting things. So give
Yeah.
us an update.
So I left Shannon Fabrics almost a year ago now.
Really?
And I had been the national educator for them for years. And so I still do education with Shannon Fabrics and absolutely love working with the fabrics. But I realized that I really wanted to do some of my own design work. And so that's what I started doing. And so I've had Crinkle Dreams has been like a little side pattern company for years and years now. And I decided I might as well actually just go for it. So I'd already released the coat pattern and that was doing well enough that we sort of just took off with that. So now I'm just teaching the coat pattern everywhere.
Isn't this a wonderful coat? I wish you could stand up so people could see.
Do you want me
but
to try that?
Yeah, let's try.
I think I can back away and you can see it. There we go.
There you go. Awesome. So now you have a certain pattern for this?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is my elemental coat pattern. And I brought one just so we could show it. Look at
Awesome.
So this is the coat pattern. It's available at a lot of different quilt shops and through me directly, of course. And the fun thing about the pattern, you want to try to take it out of the plastic?
Oh, no. No,
right.
it's
all
showing,
okay.
but
So the fun thing about the pattern that I like is that it comes with variations. So you can make, there's 3 lengths that are in it, but really you can make whatever lengths you want. We had somebody who made a duster length today.
Okay.
And that was super great. So like almost to her ankles, which was super fun.
So Teresa is fresh from class
Yes.
because you had class what from 9 to 5?
9 to 5 today. And it is 5:30. So, so we made 19 coats today. It was
Oh, wow.
awesome. We had a great time, but the coat comes in different lengths and it has a hood and a collar and no collar. And so there's all these variations that you can do with it. And I wrote it specifically for quilters and not apparel sewers
Yes.
because a lot of quilters are scared of apparel.
And you know, one of the things I like about your pattern is it shows real women
Mhm.
curves
Yeah,
instead of a stick.
right. Exactly.
Because I'm no longer a stick.
Most of us aren't. So, yeah, I wanted to show what it looks like on everybody and
Yeah.
that everybody can wear a quilt coat. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're super fun. Yeah.
All right. So are you doing all of the original Sewing Quilt Expos? Or?
I am scheduled for this one right now, and I
Okay.
think we're going to try to see how well it
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I'm really excited. This is the first time that I've got to teach one.
Oh, okay. Well, and you're living in
Portland
Oregon.
now.
Okay, Portland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Portland, Oregon. Yeah, we just moved there 4 days ago. 5
Okay.
days ago.
Yeah. Have you even unpacked yet?
No.
No. Well, you've got a huge studio
We
now.
have a
Laura.
huge studio. Yeah.
So you
I'm
get to
excited about it.
design your own studio. Fantastic.
Yes, exactly. And I'm super happy about it because it's like I was working in a big studio when I worked for Shannon Fabrics.
Yes.
And then I had my little, the extra bedroom sewing
Yeah.
studio. That's what I had. So it was a little 10 by 10 room and I was working in that. And now I have like, I don't know, it's 1,400
I
square
saw the
feet, so-
picture online and wow,
Yeah.
it was massive.
It's
and
massive.
it was currently it was empty at the time that I saw it.
It's very full now. Let me just say. It's very full.
Okay, there was a question that came in about sizing on your patterns.
So
Let me see.
Yeah. So the pattern I saw, it said, what sizes do they cover?
Yeah.
The pattern is, I did it in letters instead of numbers, just because I think numbers scare people a lot. So it started in an A to an E size, which is generally about a 6 or 8 to a 22, 24.
Okay.
It kind of varies, but it's because it's made with kind of not exactly rectangular pieces, but not super curvy pieces. The grading, if you want to go up, is pretty easy to do. But we've had lots of women who are taller, larger women, and it's been totally fine. So up to an E. I just added a double A size because I had enough smaller petite women who were like, hey, what about us? And I was like, oh yeah, you exist too. All right. So,
Well-
so I made a smaller size too. So it goes from double A now up to an E, which is
Okay.
really like a 4 to a 24.
Now I have an old, I guess I can call it vintage wedding, double wedding ring quilt that my mom made from a kit many, many years ago. And I still have it. It's weathered
Yeah.
pretty well. It's got some spots on it. And I thought, you know what? It would be so cool to take that quilt. I would
Yeah.
use it because right now
You'll
it's
use
just,
it.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just in the closet right now.
That's
So
exactly the thing. That's what I love about them is that it gives you an opportunity to use a quilt that you've made or
Right.
someone has made for you. It's a time for you to show off your piecing, your quilting. And I love it because it gives you an opportunity to talk about quilting with people
Yes.
who are not otherwise in the quilting world. Like people will stop you and be like, oh my God, I love your coat. You're like, thank you. I made it. Like, and then there's a whole
Yes.
conversation that spurs from there.
Jim, what was your how did you describe sewing? A luxury,
The luxuries.
a
luxury
luxury skill.
Yes.
So absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that term.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now Teresa, tell me what is your favorite or most frequently used SCHMETZ needle?
I probably use 80-12 the most.
Okay, a universal needle?
Just a universal usually. And mostly because I'm usually sewing samples and I don't want to switch between.
Okay.
But when I'm doing my piecing, I usually use 70s.
Okay. Yeah, 70 would
the
be a little bit.
Microtex, I think is what I
Oh,
have.
Microtex. That's my favorite
Yeah.
needle. So
That's the one I brought back.
Microtex 8012 is my favorite needle for piecing.
Mm.
But every once in a while, because there's so much difference in the fabrics and the
Yes.
threads, that sometimes I have to size down to Microtex 7010.
Got it.
So you have to be, you have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
And
I
you know,
love the Microtex needles. Though.
yeah.
I really
Well,
do.
the generic name for Microtex is a sharp needle. So the Microtex has a very slim acute point, very slim acute point. So you use the Microtex when you're looking for precision stitches.
Yeah.
And because it has this very slim acute point, guess what? It's going to dull quicker than any other
Got
needle
it.
type.
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So if my needle starts dulling slightly, is that when my stitches will get a little,
A little
less straight?
wonky. Yes, they'll have a little wiggle to
Yeah.
them, or maybe your thread might be shredding and
Yep.
breaking. That's a clue.
That's a good.
You
good
might
one.
hear when
Yeah.
you're sewing, there's that little pop, click, click,
Yes.
clicking
Uh-huh.
sound, and that's
That's when
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You know you gotta. replace
Don't
your
let it-
needle.
Don't let the needle yell at you with clunk, clunk, clunk.
Yeah, yeah, because that totally happens.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah, you can hear it in the classroom.
But
so.
you know what I use if I'm sewing with Cuddle?
Oh, what needle?
90-14 stretch.
You
of
got
course.
it.
It's
Yes.
super
Yeah, with Cuddle. So what are the 2 tips you give when you're sewing with Cuddle?
The biggest thing is get rid of the mess before you start sewing with it. So cut it with a blade and have a vacuum ready. So just
Yes,
vacuum it up, cut it from the back. You want to have hardly any mess. Vacuum that stuff up, shake it, and then use the right tools, including like the right needle makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And to pin a lot, don't think that you can just smack
Yeah.
it together and sew.
So I tell people they need to be very aggressive in their pinning.
Yes.
To pin perpendicular and also parallel
Yep.
to the
To the
stitch
cut edge,
line. Yeah. And
Yeah.
also that SCHMETZ stretch 90-14.
Mhm.
It's amazing what
Yeah.
the difference will make.
It does
in
make a
your
big
needle.
difference. You don't have
Yeah.
skip stitches.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing is
Exactly.
people will struggle with skip
So,
stitches. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Teresa, any other last words? I love your jacket.
Thank you. I appreciate it. No, just come find me online. Like I have a bunch of people. Like somebody was like, it's nice to see you again. I know, like I
Yes,
used to
yes,
see people
we-
a lot more.
We recognize some of these
Yeah.
names. Clovis says hello.
Yeah, so come find me. I'm still out there. I have my own YouTube channel with tutorials and stuff too. So
And is that Crinkle Dreams too?
yep.
Okay.
Yep. Or
Crinkle
Teresa
Dreams.
Coates. Either one of you look for me, either name you'll
Okay.
find me. I promise.
Fantastic. All right, Teresa, thanks.
you
And
very
I dipped for you, but you're going to have to wait till
I'll see
tomorrow.
you tomorrow. We got
Okay.
it. All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Don't we just love the people we work with? So much inspiration and creativity. Okay. So did you answer the question today? Did you answer the question? If you're going to teach somebody, a newbie, how to sew, what's the first project that you teach them? Teach with? And I know I saw some question or answers come in. Mug rug seems to be a popular. So go ahead and answer that question. And part of the giveaway, come on over, Jill. So Jill came up with the question today, and I probably fumbled the asking of the question.
No,
But we're going to include in the SCHMETZ giveaway one of Jill's favorite designs. So talk to us
okay,
about it.
so I have been teaching sewing since I was 14. I had a home ec teacher that I think thought I was her TA. And so I developed a teaching pattern that's a drawstring bag. So they learn to do a 5/8 inch seam allowance. They learn how to make the casing. They do a top stitch pocket. So they learn a lot of different techniques. And I'm perfectly happy to give that to anybody that wants it. And you can always find me on Instagram, Jill McCloy Designs on Instagram.
Okay.
And I'll just email it to you.
Fantastic. Awesome. Okay, Jill, thank you very much. Yeah, we'll see what other comments we get here.
Oh, and another hint, if you use the 80/12s a lot, find my gross. That's how
Oh, okay. So yes, so if so Jill knows what needles she likes. She's a power sewer. So you can buy SCHMETZ needles in a little box that's about the size of a matchbox, and it's just needles inside. It's a little box that slides out, so you can take out a single needle, and they're well protected until you'll use them. You might be able to find them at your local sewing machine dealer if that's what you're interested. They might have it in stock, or if not, just let them know and they can do a special order. They're certainly available at SCHMETZneedles.com, and we refer to them as the bulk pack. So again, it's just a little box, a little matchbox with 100 needles. If you know what needle you like, they're always available even at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's usually when I don't have my needle. Okay, let me just see. All right, back to the newsletter. Did you check out the twin top stitch, that new twin top stitch needle? Okay, so Jill's asking how to get the newsletter. You're going to go to SCHMETZneedles.com, and after about 20 seconds, there'll be one of those irritating pop-ups that says sign up for the newsletter. So just put your email in there, and then once a month you'll get the newsletter. And I will say that every few months, so several times during the year, we have specials that are available only to our newsletter subscribers, because you're so special. You read the newsletter, and so we have little blue bag specials oftentimes. So you can check that out. So since I've last seen you, I've been in Atlanta and Lakeland and now Cleveland. And last week I was in Germany. I was thrilled to actually go to SCHMETZ, Germany, and see a new testing facility that with their parent company, Gross Beckert, who is world renowned for making knitting needles. Now, I'm not talking about the stick needles for manual knitting, but I'm talking about the needles that are made for those big industrial commercial knitting machines. And the needles are so fine, you can't even see the eye of the needle or the hook of the needle. It was just remarkable. And SCHMETZ just treated us royally. So unfortunately, it was a really quick trip. Left on a Wednesday afternoon, got there Thursday morning, and it was a 2.5-hour trip from Zurich into Germany, and met with their education and marketing people too. And boy, do we have ideas, so stay tuned. We also visited on Saturday, which was our free day. We visited a castle for the King of Persia. So that was really interesting too. We ate well, we laughed, and it was good. So you know what, making that visit, because it's been over 10 years since I've been to SCHMETZ, Germany, it just elevated my respect even more for the personnel and for the company of SCHMETZ. So thank you for using SCHMETZ needles, and continue to use them. All right. Now, Paul is in the Chicago office, and let me see. Oh, okay. Jenny Drake says she appreciates that SCHMETZ doesn't send a lot of emails. When I get one, I know it it will have great information and I actually read it. Thank you very much, because I try not to waste your time. I know I get lots of emails too, but okay. So our winner today of the random drawing, Paul in the Chicago office picked the winner, is Valerie Antosh of Florida. Valerie Antosh of Florida. She taught her daughter to sew by first making napkins, sewing napkins using straight stitches on hem. So that's a really wonderful project to, a good foundational project to instill the love of sewing. So let me see here. Valerie, what you need to do is to send an email to info@smetsneedles.com. That's info@smetsneedles.com. On the subject line, put April SSL winner for SCHMETZ Snippet Live winner. And then when I get into the office on Monday, then I'll ship out all the goodies, and I'll also share your address with Jill so you can get her wonderful pattern too. Okay, let's see. Anything else? We've got lots of comments here. And we're right at 45 minutes. Oh, Janice says she likes to buy Microtex in bulk, so that's 100 needles. So she knows what she likes to sew. Vicky says she has a college student who wants to learn. I've not taught sewing or machine embroidery. Okay, so start with something simple and check out Jill's site. Oh, on Instagram. Jill McCoy Designs on Instagram, and she'll have a great pattern for you to start with. Okay, so I think that kind of wraps it up. I don't know where I'm in next month, the first Wednesday of the month. So stay tuned. We'll have no review for being here and for being flexible to meet me out again. And keep on sewing with SCHMETZ.